Welcome to a Monday edition of the Defo Show with Lubie here on the 5 Reasons Sports Network. We hope everyone had a tremendous weekend. The All-Star game was All-Star weekend was But, hey, it went down to the wire, and LeBron hit a game winner, and Steph Curry shot 153s. So, that was something. The Miami Dolphins made more hires, some interesting ones. The NFL has some odds and ends. Always so much fun when it comes to the football world. So today, on this President's Day, happy President's Day, everyone, we talk with a Miami Dolphin icon, the great, the one and only, a guy who definitely is a Ring of Honor recipient. OJ McDuffie, Juice himself, joins us here this morning on the Defo Show with Lubie on the 5 Reasons Sports Network. We'll talk about the Miami Dolphins coaching staff, some of the interesting things to happen with Brian Flores and his latest hiring, and also OJ's bowling tournament, Strikes for Kids, that he held this Sunday at Spears and Davie. We're talking about all that with the one and only OJ McDuffie right here on the Defo Show with Lubie on the 5 Reasons Sports Network.
We welcome to the program, and happens to be, I don't know, Lubie, this is probably a fair statement, might just be the coolest, most likable guy in town, huh? OJ McDuffie joins us here on the show.
If you were at his thing yesterday, you would have sworn that. Like, the dude literally, I didn't even get a chance to say hello to him. He had the Strikes for Kids bowling tournament at Spears over there in Davie, and every time he went to say hi, he was like, OJ, like people are hugging him, kissing him, babies, women, grandmas. It was like he had the earpiece. It's like, is he running for office? I'm like, I'd vote for him, but like, I didn't know.
That's a great thing to do. Juice, welcome to the show. Good to have you on this fine Monday.
Oh, man, thank you guys, man. Happy holiday.
Yeah, and we talked about this a few times in your previous appearances, and you do this every year, and you start a thing, and you yourself, an avid and accomplished bowler with any number of 300 games on your resume, and you got this bowling tournament going for charity, and Lubie said it was absolutely one of the most entertaining things of not only this type, but of any type of entertainment of adventure that you could have here in South Florida that he's ever attended. So congratulations on that. Tell us about, what was happening yesterday and, how it worked out, because it sounded like a resounding success.
Oh, thank you, man. And that was, I'm sorry to get a chance to say what's up to Lubie, man. I did get a little busy, man. But you know what, though, man? Luke, he's a rock star, man. Rock stars don't come up to other guys, man. You got to approach them. You know what I mean? So, man, you can't just, I didn't expect him to come up to me, man, but I was hoping, you know what I mean? But yeah, we did. We had one hell of a turnout yesterday. Finally got back in the building at Spears because we couldn't do it last year because of COVID. We were still trying to be as careful as possible this year, even though I did see a couple of people get a little close to each other. But, I think for the most part, man, we just went out there and raised some more money, some good money for our Catch 81 Foundation, which used to be OJ McDuffie Catch 81 Foundation. Now it's the McDuffie family. I took my name off of it, just because my whole family is the reason that we do what we do, and they were a huge part of our success, man. And we had a good turnout. We had some guys, like always, Lubie and Defo, as you know, at a charity event that didn't show up, but then we had some other guys that did that I didn't expect to be there, man. And we had a packed house. We had about, what do you think, Lubie, about 40? We had about 42 lanes going.
No, I think you have, every lane. No, I was trying to do the math because I'm like, I think there's only 40 lanes, but I think you had like 50 lanes full.
Yeah, it was a lot. There was a lot of people going, man, with a DJ Hercules in the middle, man, and just a very good vibe, man. And people were just happy to get out and support, man. And as a charity, man, we appreciate that.
Your girl Juliet get out there? Because to tell you the truth, I mean, she's great, but a bowling alley food, sometimes, I mean, I don't know how it is at this particular place, happens to be, among my many, many favorites, especially the French fries.
Yeah, they had some. My wife loves the wings there. They got some great wings. But now now that wings are market price now. You see that?
Yeah, exactly.
Order the lobster tail instead.
Rondé was like, I need wings. I'm like, can you afford them? They're expensive.
They are hella expensive, man. But yeah, the food's really good. But Chef Juliet, you can't beat her food, though. I mean, nothing compares to that. But, yeah, she wasn't in the bowling alley, unfortunately.
All right, congratulations on the tournament. Lubie said it was a blast. Now, we haven't spoken with you since the Super Bowl. I will say this, and I was never like this, Juice, because I'm like you. I'm very diversified in my sporting interests. And I was always surprised at the overwhelming dominance of football as a sporting topic on doing you do radio here and TV, and it just seemed to be way out of proportion with the fact that there are other sports that people like to watch and are entertained by, but they didn't seem to get this kind of coverage. But when you took a look at the Super Bowl, and I mean, it turned out great. It climaxed a season, and I never thought I would go through this kind of withdrawal the first week when there was no football after, because usually I'm thinking, okay, good, I'll watch some other stuff. And I found myself, actually for one of the first times or a few times in my life saying, wow, I wish there were some games this week.
Oh, man, you know what? And you know why? Because the last few weeks of the NFL season and the last couple of games of the college season were just unbelievable, man. They won and they left us thirsting for more. It really was. And then all of a sudden, and then they threw that dud of Pro Bowl in there. You know what I mean? But yeah.
We could have lived without, like the NBA All-Star.
Oh, yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. At least they start playing a little bit in the All-Star game at the end. The Pro Bowl is, I don't know why they still do that thing. But yeah, man, it was such a good season, I think. You know what I mean, Defo? And I think everybody was just, chomping at the bit to, for more of that was going on. But the NFL is so great about, being relevant and pertinent, all year long now. They're moving everything back, and remember Super Bowl used to be close to mid-January, I think.
Yes.
Now it's like mid-February with added games and added playoff games, and just and then the next thing you know, you're in the free agency and combine, and then the draft's already there. And then you're looking at OTAs, so they're really good about that, man. So you're right, though, man. Games is what it's all about. It's hard to imagine a sport like ours that kind of taken over in this country, and that's all people care about. I was looking at, there's some things that, some big games that were going on in some other leagues, and then all the headlines were all about the NFL. So it's amazing where the sport is going. But the games that we miss, man, they'll be right around the corner. They'll be coming soon.
We're talking with Dolphin legend, one of the hosts of the Fish Tank 81 podcast and the Catch 81 Foundation. Great tournament again. It was a blast yesterday, and thanks for having me, OJ. At Spares Strikes for Kids tournament, and it was a great turnout. And what was really cool is a lot of these guys have stuff, and some guys will show up. It's rare you see Jason Taylor there, and you see Pat Surtain, who just got a gig with the Dolphin there, and like Pat Surtain the second, who's one of the best corners in football right now, is there. He's like the little kid because they're all like his uncles, DP, Pat Surtain, OG, or like his elders. So like he's now like an All-Pro, and everyone wants his autograph, and he's like, Uncle DP. It was just really funny. So it's like a great turnout. One of the guys that's always around these things, especially since he's one of your good buddies, is Zach Thomas, guy that you played with and probably played against in practice. So you know as well as anyone what he was, how ferocious he was. What are your thoughts on Zach still not getting in the NFL Hall of Fame?
Man, it's been a joke for a minute now, man. You know what I mean? Look at the numbers. All you got to do is look at the numbers, man. The reason Zach isn't in the NFL because Zach's not going to pound his own chest, and out and say, look, I deserve to be in there, man. He's one of the nicest guys, most humble guys. But, man, his numbers do not lie. You compare all the numbers, all the other guys, and some of them were first ballot guys, they don't lie. And the better that, people want to talk about, well, this guy went to the Super Bowl, this guy won a Super Bowl. You know this, man. We all know how much of a team sport football is, damn, Danny went to one Super Bowl, and he got in first ballot. Man, it's different. I know it's apples and oranges. But at the same time, though, man, his numbers don't lie. And they do, not only that, but when you got guys up there like Peyton Manning vouching for you, saying how smart he was and how tough it was to play against him, you got Kevin Mawae going in and say that Zach needs to be there because they battled for so many years in the AFC East. What else do you need? You don't need no writers or anybody else to vote to tell you that this dude needs to be in. Listen to the players that played against him.
Well, and he's not an overwhelmingly imposing figure like a Brian Urlacher, who many people that point out the injustice of Zach getting robbed year after year for going into the Hall of Fame say, well, if Urlacher's in there, how could Zach Thomas not be in there? And, Urlacher kind of looks the part, which makes Zach's career even more remarkable.
More impressive.
We've been running this theory of ours because we're Mr. Fix-It here. You know what sports talk is all about. Well, we offer solutions, though, on this show, O.J. McDuffie. And while other people consider them to be, bordering on criminally insane or irrational, we consider them very sound. And our belief is, and this is a theory that I'm borrowing from a friend of mine who you probably knew, too, the great Ed Kaplan, who was a longtime broadcaster in South Florida. And he had some very sort of avant-garde opinions. But I think he's right about this. You're either a Hall of Famer or you're not after your 5-year retirement period is up. So now you become eligible. I mean, why shouldn't there just be one ballot period and people decide? I mean, you're either a Hall of Famer or you're not right then and there. I mean, this thing of you're going to become one by attrition after like several more years of being out of the league. I find that, to kind of be absolutely ridiculous when, you either have the stature to be an Hall of Famer or you don't right away.
Yeah, no matter what, the longer it goes, the more you're out of mind. People start looking at other guys, and, of course, other guys become eligible. When you run in, I mean, somebody's about to run into a juggernaut when Brady and Roethlisberger and all those. Whoever thought they were getting in that year, they might as well forget it. That year is going to be stacked with guys coming out. So, and that's going to continue to happen. The eligibility of some of these guys starts to come up, and then you start getting pushed. And from what I understand, that's why Sam Mills got in, because he was 1 year from whatever the senior vote or whatever that is.
Yes.
I'm talking about. So, Sam Mills was good, but he was no Zach Thomas.
Well, and they put you on ice for another 15 years, and you go to the Veterans Committee there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they tortured Kuchenberg to his grave. I mean, this poor guy. I mean, just tell me yes or no. I can accept it. If you don't think I have Hall of Fame stature right away, then fine. I'm willing to accept that if I'm a person that's in that spot. And Zach, as you said, too humble to start grumbling or making noise or get somebody to get some kind of campaign going saying, "What, Sam Mills? Are you kidding me?"
Right.
All right. Do you believe, like some people do, O.J. McDuffie? We did this with Tony Segreto last week, and there are kind of many interesting things here that just curious to get your quick response to. Do you believe that Tom Brady will play in the NFL next year? Tom Brady.
Ooh, I do not.
Okay.
I do not.
Okay.
Man, he's got what else could he ask for, man? What else do you want? You know what I mean? This dude, he's got every single record. He's got all the damn rings. Got, beautiful family. I think he enjoys this. He sees what Peyton and Eli are doing and what Tony's doing. I mean, he'd rather do that instead of getting hit by somebody like, Emmanuel Ogbah. Who was at our event yesterday? I love the kid. It just seems like he's just kind of, not really riding off in the sunset, but man, pretty much doing so with that hell of a career. But why Tom? You've seen it sometimes where some guys hang on too long. Usually baseball or NBA players. Football players.
People saying that about me.
Not
an uncommon thought. I've heard it many, many times, even from program directors while being hired. Yeah. Nothing worse than being a shot fighter, my friend. No, but do you believe that he made that decision or Giselle? What do you figure on that front?
Well, if it's in my house, if you got the same house I've got, it was her to make the decision.
That's what I was going to ask you.
A very bold admission on your part there, O.J. McDuffie. Do you believe that Aaron Rodgers will be a Green Bay Packer next year, or will he play elsewhere or not at all?
I think he will play elsewhere.
Oh, wow.
I think he'll play elsewhere. I thought, until, I started looking at some of these contracts in Tampa, I thought he'd be the guy to replace Tom Brady. But how it is, man. I think a lot of times those guys that play these cold weather places will try to get warm. So he's definitely not going to Jacksonville. He's definitely not coming here. So I was thinking Tampa might be a spot for him. So I'm not sure though, but he'll be somewhere. Hopefully he's out of the AFC. He doesn't come to the AFC. That's one thing I hope for.
Please.
Do you believe Deshaun Watson will play quarterback somewhere next year, possibly as he's maybe implied through whatever publicity machine he's got working for him? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which you would have to think if you were going to lose Brady, that's not a bad pickup.
Not a bad pickup at all. I do think he'll play next year. I think a lot of things that he's gone through will be settled one way or another, and he'll definitely get an opportunity, man, because the kid's obviously still talented. Sometimes people have these moral compasses where they want to throw against somebody, man, but there'll be somebody that will give him a shot, go in there and probably thrive. But yeah, he'll definitely play again next year.
Well, and I wanted to ask you, as we talk about things going on in the NFL, you still work closely with the Dolphins. You do I think a pregame and a halftime show both on the television and recap and on the radio down here in South Florida. And you do the Fish Tank 81 podcast. What are your thoughts on the Dolphins hire? Because you are an offensive guy. I know you like Brian Flores, and you were sort of shocked at his firing, but it was admitted that the offense did struggle. They go with a guy who's all offense and even a little bit old school, the way he runs offenses, and Mike McDaniel. A lot of people have loved his hires. What are your thoughts on the Mike McDaniel hire and some of his staff hires?
I thought he did a great job. a month out or right after Flo got fired, of course, everybody was looking at who they want to hire thing, And then, of course, they're in the middle of the playoffs and, waiting on coaches to come interview that are, that are in the playoffs and, all these guys that are obviously very, very well qualified. But my buddy Travis Wingfield started talking about Mike McDaniel. I never really paid attention to him. So I started watching videos and, hearing what people were saying about him, man. And we were kind of hoping we'd get somebody like that. Now, when you get somebody like that, then you worry about, how they do staff-wise. Because we know how innovative he is and how smart he is. But, can he command a room? When you get in that big auditorium with all those grown men, can you get their attention and will they listen to you? Sometimes that doesn't happen for some coaches. Great guys, whatever, but when they get in front of that, big room of alpha males, it becomes a problem, man. But then you see Mike McDaniel, and you see how some of these clips and hear him talking to guys and how he relates to guys. And then he goes out and the staff that he starts to put together, keeping half of our defense, and then bringing in a lot of guys to San Francisco. Then you look at, Wes Welker coming, Sam Madison coming, Pat Surtain coming, and then you realize, guys, he knows how to get it done. You got some guys that are young enough that can still relate to these guys that have played in the league at high levels and probably coached the game as well, man. So I thought the hire originally was outstanding, and once he starts to build the staff, it's even gotten better and better.
Talking to the great O.J. McDuffie. You can catch O.J. on his podcast and, of course, all around town and always featured radio and TV and an excellent presence around any kind of Dolphin broadcast because he makes you feel good about what even was maybe a lousy situation. I did not believe, O.J. McDuffie, that Brian Flores would get another coaching job in the NFL. I mean, I wouldn't have ruled it out.
Right.
But I would not have seen him coming back. Now, is there a need for an assistant consultant to the linebackers coach? Did they create a job for him? Because if they did, I thought it was pretty cool. It seemed like Mike Tomlin might have saved his career by getting him right back into action so that now he's in place. So it's not one of those Colin Kaepernick things where, years go by and then finally the guy probably doesn't, make a fit in the NFL anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I thought, and I even stated that he wouldn't get another job. But then once it happened, I'm like, dummy, that's the perfect place for him to be.
Yeah.
Under Mike T,
Yep.
The Rooney Rule and the Rooney's, on the team. It's like
good stuff.
Perfect situation. And I was like, that should have been the first place I thought, man. Coach Flo is a hell of a defensive mind, and the Pittsburgh Steelers got better when they hired him. They really did. They got better. Only person that might not be happy is Minka, right? Fitzpatrick. When he saw him there.
But he's going to zero in on the linebackers, so Minka might be okay. Yeah.
Right. But yeah, I mean, that's really, really great deal for him, man. Because I thought it would have been the Colin Kaepernick of coaching, when it comes to that situation. Of course, he'd probably have some, some money in his pocket, whatever the Dolphins would pay him, and if he, win his suit. But, he's a coach. He wants to be out there coaching, and kudos to Pittsburgh Steelers for seemingly always doing things the right way.
Yeah, the one of maybe, 2 or 3 organizations, that has done what they possibly can do to rectify what everybody has been trying to do for years, at least supposedly. And unfortunately, the Rooney Rule turned out to be a disaster. Although, I don't know. I mean, the only way to make that change come about is to change the minds of the owners. No, there's 32 guys in charge there that, if they don't make the moves, then it doesn't matter, what kind of parameters they put in place. It just becomes, unfortunately, as Flores contended, a joke.
Right. Man, no doubt about it, man. It really has been, man. I mean, it's shown its face. It's shown its ugly face, man, over and over and over again, how much of a joke it is, but it was a great attempt, and it looked like it was going to be a good attempt, man. And, you look at what San Fran gets. I think San Fran gets 2 third-round picks now because Mike McDaniel, is the biracial coach that came to us, and so they try everything they can possibly to get guys, their teams or owners to make these decisions, and it's not happening like it should be.
2.5 black men. That's
right.
NFL's sitcom situation, unfortunately, that they're in there. I do like the fact, Juice, that the McDaniel coaching staff now includes a couple of, very well-liked and respected ex-Dolphins.
Yep.
And, Wes Welker, I mean, obviously he got as much mileage out of his physicality in the NFL as anybody could possibly be expected to. Maybe Edelman's in that same category. They're very similar.
Yep.
Sam Madison was a great defensive back with Surtain. I mean, one of the combos that you could talk about among the elite cornerback tandems that have ever participated together for any length of time on the same team in the NFL. I like that influence. I think that's a real positive step. I mean, we don't know how this guy's going to do, but he also was able to make any number of running backs prosper in his system there in San Francisco, including like many-time cast-off Raheem Mostert, who was a Dolphin briefly, and he becomes sensational. And then, Samuel, I mean, just unbelievable what he did with this kid.
Yeah, I mean, I love all that. Like we said, these guys, Sam and Pat and Wes, they got so much good street cred. And I think a lot of times we get coached by guys that never played the position or never played it at any high level. So they really talk a lot of times about things on the field as theory, and we always talk about theory and reality. Yeah, coach, it looks like this is what you see and what you draw up, but in reality, when a guy like who I played it, who was at my ball yesterday, when Thomas Smith and Buffalo Bills in your face, then the reality sets in that this is not going to work out the way you drew it up. So guys like Wes and Pat and Sam, they can actually get up there and show guys how it's really going to happen. And that's important, because everything happens so fast, especially for a guy like Wes, a wide receiver, inside guy, outside guy, motion guy. He's special, man. So I can only imagine what he can do with, guys like Waddle and, whatever guys, if Devontae's back and healthy and guys like that. I see Albert Wilson could be a Devo Samuel kind of guy. The way he runs, he looks like a little running back there if he ever gets back healthy. There's a lot of things that he can do with them. And then you look on the defensive side with Sam and Pat. Sam should have never left, man. You know what I mean? He should have been on our staff, before he had to go to Kansas City. They had opportunities here to hire him before this. So I'm glad they brought him back home. And then Pat was like, man, that's a great bonus right there. So you got Sam and Pat coaching X and Byron. I mean, look, they're already great on our side, but those two great ones coaching them, it's going to be pretty impressive.
They might be able to replace him, I guess, if they're injured during the course of the season, and you wouldn't suffer too much, probably. Sam's like you, Sam Madison. I always loved Sam Madison. He's like you, OJ. Anytime you run into him, he makes you feel good, and that's a great quality, and that's why we love having you on the program. Thanks so much for sharing time with us. Congratulations again on the charity event. I'm glad Lubie got out there, smashing success. It sounds like you had more than your share of celebrity presence there, which, you would only figure that people would come out and support you, OJ McDuffie, because you're great with everybody else. Thanks so much for being with us here on the show.
Hey, thank you guys for always having me. I appreciate it.
We love you, Juice. Thanks.
All right, thanks a lot. OJ McDuffie.
It's truly always a blast talking to Penn State great and Miami Dolphin legend guy who is a huge part of the South Florida contingent when it comes to Dolphin greats, big part of our South Florida community, and does his own podcast and pregame, halftime, and postgame show when it comes to the Dolphins. Phins great, OJ McDuffie. Talked a lot about the Miami Dolphins coaching staff, the hires, his boys, Sam Madison and Patrick Surtain, getting recently put on the staff. Brian Flores getting a new job with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and also OJ's own bowling tournament he does annually. It was held this past Sunday at Spares in Davie. I was there. I had a blast. It was a great time. A lot of Dolphins elite were there. A lot of fans, everyone mingled, everyone got along really well, and it was a really good time, and OJ always puts on a good show, and it's a great event, strikes for kids, and it helps out the South Florida youth, so that's always something we want to get behind and get involved with. So thank you, OJ McDuffie, for joining us. Thank you for joining us. This is, again, the Devo Show with Lubie on the 5 Reasons Sports Network. Check us out tomorrow. We always have more to come right here. Recently we realized it's not just hurricane season that can hurt us. Any time of year, things can happen to your home or business. And the insurance company can be your friend, but they also can be your enemy. Horizon Public Adjusters, Justina Testa, are here for you to help this process go so much easier. Before you call the insurance company, call Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa at 954-809-8752. Would you go into court without an attorney? So why would you go up against an insurance company without Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa? 7 to 10 times more money recovered with a public adjuster than if you went on your own. If there's no recovery, there's no fee. Give them a call at 954-809-8752. Why go up against insurance companies alone when you can have Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa on your side?
Play the ponies in style at Champions, the outstanding simulcasting room at beautiful Hialeah Park. Yes, the grand old lady of thoroughbred racing has never been more vibrant, and you can wager on the races from the top tracks around the country while enjoying a cocktail at the Brass Rail Bar or any of the fine foods served throughout the facility. If poker is your game, you're covered in style. And you can play all your favorite Vegas-style games, including blackjack, craps, and roulette, in Hialeah Park's sizzling hot casino. Get a player's card when you walk through the door for all kinds of generous amenities, including our favorite, free play, when you come out to the ultimate casino and entertainment destination, Hialeah Park.